I don't think that there is one right way to find sort of safe groundedness for any woman, but I think it's important for all women to return to the body as their place of safety and strength and fluidity, to be able to move through the world um, with this strong, grounded sense of self. I think that's what we
Mm,
need right now when the world is so full of chaos. We need that individual sense of grounded self. And I
yeah.
get that through my
Hmm.
Aikido practice.
Hmm. Yeah. When I work with men, I talk about this, like the importance of training in martial arts, but also other things. It could be dance. Any kind of movement really will help you to develop what I call physical confidence, which
Yes.
is different than kind of psychological confidence. And just that connection to your body and knowing that you have the ability to move, that you've got strength and all of that, I think lends you a certain sense of well, confidence, but also like on the other side of that, like an ease,
Yes.
you
Yes,
know?
I completely agree. The other thing I think that's important is that when you do any sort of physical practice that builds strength but also flexibility, you learn a lot more about choice.
Mm.
Where can I move? Which is not merely a physical insight or lesson. It's also something about that's a mental insight, an emotional insight. Um, there's so we learn on multiple levels, I think, through any kind of an embodied practice, whether it's, pickleball or Aikido.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's such a good point that knowing that you have kind of multiple options in any
Yes,
given moment,
yes.
physically, but yes, also psychologically, that kind of
Mhm.
adeptness and agility and flexibility,
Mhm.
physically and psychologically, they do go hand in hand. I mean, that's how I found, the best therapies for me have been these kind of integrated practices,
Yes.
and they have a immediate response on your regulating your nervous system, and they have all these kind of rippling or downstream effects, and they
Yes.
do remind us that we are a whole organism. They put us
Yes.
back together in a way.
They put us back together in such an important way. I mean, the fundamental premise of any kind of somatic psychology is, you can begin to learn or heal or both through the body first. It can be bottom up as opposed to top down. It's not necessary to intellectually understand something first. You can actually begin to get it in the body, and then it will sort of seep upwards into thinking, into ideas. Um, so you can profoundly change your orientation to any current issue, any moment in your life, and especially something where we're in a situation where we're placed off balance for some reason. Maybe it's a news headline, or maybe it's an argument we had with a loved one. Whatever it is that kind of tilts us off balance into an sort of an extreme position, or even into just like a fixed position. We sort of dig in our heels and say, this is the way it is. That kind of somatic approach, if you have a sense of the fluidity of the entire body mind, the whole system, you can begin to observe your own physical rigidity in a moment of emotional or mental rigidity, and begin to kind of move out of it just by playing with physical motion.
Mm,
It's an odd kind of approach, and many people underestimate it. They think we have to start with thinking,
mm,
but in fact, you can start with, okay, I'm really activated in this moment. I really want to fight or flee, but what if I just breathed and sort of found my way, find the fluidity in my stance. Maybe just move my feet, side to side, or relax the soles of my feet and see if I can feel the earth, you know. So
Mm,
it can begin with a simple somatic move.
mhm. And I think, this is my bias as someone who kind of I got into maybe I'd say like my healing journey, let's say, through yoga primarily, and then
Hmm.
found my way to depth psychology because I was looking for ideas and concepts that helped me to frame the experiences that I had through yoga and shamanic practices. So I kind of came at it from the ground up, let's say. And
Yes, you did.
well, and I do think that, like in our culture, which is so kind of the thinking function is so dominant in our culture that maybe it's even better to start with the body so that we don't just get hung up on concepts. And, the mind and the ego is so good at thinking, oh, I understand that, therefore I've got it.
Hmm.
Eureka, I've got
Yeah,
it. All I needed was like to get it, but then to like integrate it and embody it, then maybe becomes a whole nother struggle for people. So I think, let's just start like with the body. And I always think about Parliament Funkadelic had a song, "Free your mind and your ass will follow." And but I flip that. I say
exactly.
free your ass and your mind will follow. And
Exactly.
I really
That
believe
that's
that.
that's somatic to the core right there. Yep. That is it. But I do want to say, I mean, I agree with you. I have a somatic bias. I do believe that just knowledge of the mind is insufficient. It needs to be embodied. And I like beginning with the body. But there are many people who are not at home in their bodies. The
Yeah.
body is not a safe place for a variety of reasons. And so for them, the journey to really be in the body is more fraught.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I totally get that. I remember, back when I was really going through my midlife upheaval and, you know, my soul was providing me with lots of symptoms to get my attention. Like
Yes.
having panic attacks while in Shavasana yoga class when you're supposed to be at your most relaxed and just let go. I'd be lying there thinking that I was having a heart attack and I'd have to get up and go outside and go for a walk around the block. But I remember like sitting in a sauna, for instance, and just having no stimulus, nothing to distract me, and how uncomfortable that was for me. And having to slowly build up my tolerance just for sitting still, being quiet without any stimulus, just to be with myself.
Yes.
I mean, it
Yeah.
took such a long time, and I really had to like sweat through it. I mean, it was so good, I think, to do it in a sauna, raise the
Mhm.
intensity and how much can I tolerate, and then figuring out, oh, well, if I breathe, my tolerance increases. But yeah, so I totally get it, and I am sympathetic to people and like to maybe lead them into the body slowly and gently.
Mhm.
And there's so many good ways to do that. But I also do think I've found that a good idea can be the best therapy. And that's one of the reasons why I love Hillman and his therapy of ideas.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't want to ever underestimate the power of an idea. A good idea works on us. As Hillman
Yeah.
says, ideas inform our behavior, they inspire our behavior. Um, yeah, without question.
hmm And I think one of the ways that we can be exposed to or imbibe good ideas is through story and myth.